Video games. Video games are an expression of the human condition and creativity, and a reflection of time and place, both technologically and culturally. At around $180 billion in 2020, the video game industry has yet again exceeded revenues of both film and sports combined. People often reminisce about classic games of an era, be it Super Mario, Doom, or even Pong. But never have I heard someone talk about a game called Auto Test. And that's kind of a shame. Information is scant, but I've combed through everything I could find, including newspapers from the 50s and 60s, to provide a comprehensive look at 1954's Auto Test. Released in arcades by Capitol Projector Corp as an upright model in 1954, Auto Test is credited with being the first game with a real human voice, the first arcade game, first commercial video game, first video game with promotional posters, and the first FMV game, or full motion video. FMV is a subgenre of games involving minor interactions by the player to play along with recorded video footage. It's kitschy and shallow, but has a certain charm I'm quite fond of. The subgenre still exists with games like 2019's Erica on PS4. Oh, creepy doll. Is this gonna be a creepy doll game? But exactly 60 years before Erica released on PlayStation 4, you had a different FMV game called Auto Test.
A game of fun and a real test of driving skill.
There's the Phantom car and your car.
This driver against the Red Phantom. Remember, don't shoot. If you do, your warning light will go on and the car will stop. Get a firm grip on the wheel. Stay in your own lane and observe all speed and traffic rules. Slow down on the road,
Jeff,
and watch out for dangerous obstacles. If any happen to come your way, apply your brakes in time.
Oh, there we
Rack
go.
up extra points toward your safe driver score.
There we go. We're chasing that Phantom.
And don't let some highway hotshots spoil your race.
Right there was the point where
Race driver that
a little bit
always
too
wins.
much gas will slow it down.
Now,
Let's
let's
try
have a
it
look
again,
at
Jeff.
the scoreboard.
There you go.
You
Keep on rolling.
and everybody else how good a driver you really are. Well, how did
Oh,
you do?
there's another little kid driving a bicycle.
Want to top your score? Try it again.
There you have it. It's only about a minute, but let's do it again. Jeff, nope, the Red Phantom won on that too.
Almost got the Vegas.
There we go.
On a game of fun and a real test of driving skill.
You can see this is a large machine, and he is very comfortable. It's just like he's sitting in a real car.
Don't shoot. If you do, your warning light will go on and the car will stop. Get a firm grip on the wheel. Stay in your own lane and observe all speed and traffic rules. Slow down on the curb and watch out for dangerous obstacles. If any happen to come your way, apply your brakes in
Radio
time.
man.
Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. More so than anything, this is just a piece of history. If you're familiar with this, when you learn how to drive, you'll understand what I'm feeling when I see this right now.
Now let's have a look at the scoreboard. It tells you and everybody
Oh,
else
there's go box.
how good a driver you really are. Well, how did you do?
Well,
Top your score?
the Phantom won again. There you have it.
Auto Test is a single-player game with a steering wheel, gas and brake pedals, and one-channel amplified mono sound using a custom tape player. It featured a real car seat and dashboard. The early upright version has a tape player with 2 tubes, while the 59 version has transistors. For 10 cents, or about $1 in 2021, you race the Red Phantom car across the US in an entirely inefficient snake-like pattern. The score is based on proper steering and braking, avoiding dangerous obstacles like cars, buses, trains, and people, including a little bicycle-riding kid.
Oh, there's another little kid driving a bicycle.
Auto Test apparently allowed for swapping films as well, so you can change the road conditions. So, kind of a roguelike? I like how this ad, by the way, puts win in quotes, basically saying, yeah, not killing people in a car crash is technically winning. Capital Project Core had a multi-pronged sales effort. Number 1, an exciting and competitive game. CPC would hold large-scale events at such venues as amphitheaters and auto shows. These were massive demonstrations and competitions, an entertainment spectacle. 9 days, 24 units lined up, a large electric scoreboard, and catwalking models for good measure. Autotest may have been the ultimate progenitor of the competitive gaming scene. Number 2, working with businesses for brand synergy and cross-promotion. CPC and Greyhound Bus collaborated to install custom units in their depots with commercials suggesting travelers should let Greyhound worry about the driving. I wonder if they made those games more chaotic and challenging in an effort to push people away from driving and towards buses. We've seen it in the modern era, publishers encouraging the purchasing of microtransactions through manipulation of game mechanics. Ultimately, however, the primary focus seemed to be as a fun instructional tool, an edutainment game. The flyers stress Autotest as not a toy or ride, rather a game and instructional tool for safe driving. It was, after all, named Autotest. This likely expanded their market potential and lessened the sting of such a high price tag. As a recreational good, it was a luxury, but as a life-saving tool, it could be seen as a necessity. Autotest is fascinating, but it's not the only game Capital Projector Corp made. Based in the Hell's Kitchen neighborhood of Manhattan, CPC created 4 different machines under this name. So we'll start with 3D movies. 3D movies appeared to be pornographic, at least one version I found. You can see in this ad that 3D movies has a double cloth system engaging the sprocket holes on both sides of the film, so it appears there was at least some interaction, though probably not a game per se. Midget movies had 3 different frames, and its unfortunate name was given because of its size. A nickel played about 4 minutes of film using a 16mm projector. It featured 3 themes: westerns, sports, and burlesque. This one ad mentions you can swap the display to appeal to kids, sports fans, and horn dogs. Yeah, I just said horn dogs. But based on all the ads I could find, it does appear to focus mostly on the pornography market. Cruiser Pilot might be the most interesting game besides Autotest. It was released in the 50s, but the exact date is unknown. So Cruiser Pilot is a driving game akin to Autotest, but you're piloting a boat. I mean, look at this thing. It's freaking awesome. Users pilot the Suzy T with a real ship wheel, instrument panel, and throttle for speed control. Like Autotest, it varies situations with each change of film. This thing looks rad, and it's such a shame that there appears to be none left to see in action anymore. I dug up this interesting letter as well, which mentions the price of the machine at $1,095, which in 2021 is about $11,000. This was to capitalize on the growing popularity of recreational boating in the 1950s. Something of note as well is that in many of these ads, replay value was often highlighted. To this day, replayability is still a ubiquitous selling point in gaming. It's amazing to see how far video games have come, while so much has remained the same. And that is a wrap. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was a fun one to do. The information, there wasn't a lot of it. But I dug deep, and this video ended up being longer than I expected, but it was pretty fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to comment and sub and follow me on Twitch and all that. And give me your feedback on what you think of this really weird relic of video game history. So we're going to end this video with a little fun montage, and then the last minute is going to be the only isolated audio from Autotest that I was able to dig up. I was going to put it in the video itself, but the audio quality is pretty poor. So after the montage, you've been warned. I think it's fascinating, the audio, but the quality's a little rough. So thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed. Check out my other reviews, and I'll catch you next one. Bye.
Hang on to the wheel and let's go with auto test. It's a game of fun and a real test of driving skill. Expert hand of the wheel will give you enough points for a perfect driving score. Use your gas pedal, but don't break the speed limit. If you do, your car will stop, and you will lose valuable points. Use your brake just for about anything that might happen to get in your way. So don't forget, handle your wheel, brake, and gas pedal well, and get a good driving score. Getting there fast is important, but remember, you're not taking off from Cape Canaveral, so don't lose valuable points by tearing along like a rocket. Aren't these new cars something? But dig those drivers. Oh, brother, they can really drive you nuts and spoil your score, too. If they get in your way, please don't hit them. Just hit the brake. Handles like the real thing, doesn't it? Well, how do we do? Not bad at all. Now try the next road. It's different, and it's terrific.